This video is my full tutorial of the Symphonic Elements DRUMS by Ujam. In my last video I did a sound demo and a first look, and today I will teach you everything you need to know to make your own orchestral drums. My name is Matt Flank, let's get started. Okay, so this is what we see when we open the plugin for the very first time. And before we start, I am going to select the preset. I like the colossal ones, so let's select colossal hugeness. I think the presets are a good way to start actually. So we are going to take a look at each individual section of this plugin. The first thing we have is on the bottom here where you make all the sound. We have this little virtual keyboard, and I'm going to walk you through how it works. So the keyboard is basically divided into a couple different sections. We have the upper keys and then the lower keys. And the upper keys are divided into hits, metals, intros, fills and endings. And then the bottom keys are divided into common phrases, style phrases, and finally we have the stop key, which we will come to in a second. If you want to know how everything sounds, I have a first look and demo video up on my channel, and at the end of this video I will also showcase you this little project that I made. So while playing we can do something cool by using our pitch and mod wheel, and for that we have these two sliders. We can switch between the high drums and the low drums using our pitch wheel, and then we can add a crescendo or decrescendo effect by using this slider. So next up there is the style, and this is probably the most important part of this plugin because this allows you to tell the drummer what he needs to play, what style he needs to play. So I will quickly play a note, a common phrase, and then I will change the style to showcase you what it sounds like. And you can see how this simple button transforms the entire sound of the plugin. So you definitely want to be playing around with this quite a lot. Then above that you can see the ledge, which is also pretty cool. And instead of having to hold a key down to play the sound, you can simply lock it, and now it will keep playing until I press stop. Just like that. Let's disable it again and go to the right where you have the sync and timing. So sync basically allows you to sync your plugin to your DAW. If you have it on note, a phrase will begin the second you press a note. If you have it on beat, it will be synced to your DAW. Then we have the timing. We can click the metronome icon right here. We can add some swing. If this is all the way to the right, the accent will be on the third note of a triplet, behind the scenes obviously. And then we can also add half time, double time or regular speed. Now let's get to the exciting part of the plugin, which is the drums itself. We have low drums and high drums, as you can see. The low drums contain timpani and bass drums, and the high drums are mostly snares and toms. So the controls are the same for both, so we're only going to take a look at one. First we have these two knobs, one for the character effects and one for the motion effects. Character effects basically allow you to add some character to your sound. Let's take a look at what we can add. We have some fuzzing, an amp, a tube amp. We can add some bit crushing, some distortion. We can adjust the transients. We can add a limiter, punch. And you can see all these things adjust the character. Let's take a listen to some of them. Okay, so that is some of the presets, and these are the same for the high drums, as you can see. And then we have the motion effects, which allow us to add some motion to our sound. For example, we have tremolo, auto pan, we can add a filter gate, a sweeping gate, anything like that. Let's listen to the sweep filter and the flanger, for example. And just like that, we can add some more motion to this, and feel free to experiment with this yourself and come up with some very creative ideas. Okay, so next up we have these two sliders below the knobs. One is the focus EQ, and this is basically a high pass or low pass EQ. Before going to the finisher, let's take a quick listen. Next up, below the knobs, you have these two sliders. The first one is focus EQ, and this is to add some kind of an EQ to add more highs or more lows before going into the finisher. By the way, to reset any knob, you have to hold Alt and you can click on the slider or knob and it will reset. Next up, there is the shape, and this is the shape of the decay envelope. And we can link this together with the shape of the high and low drums. As you can see, now they are linked together. Okay, so that is it for this part. Now let's go to the final section, which is in the middle, which is the finisher. And this has the very big knob that I loved talking about in my previous video, in my first look. But we also have some other exciting features, so let's take a look. First, we have the highlighter, which is basically a low pass or a high pass filter. Then we have the finisher, which allows you to add any finishing effect, basically a master effect. And you can choose from any of these presets, or any of these effects, I should say. So let's select a couple presets so you can get an idea what they sound like. As you can see, there is a lot of different effects. Some really cool ones, some a little bit weird, but weird is also pretty cool in my opinion, so that is very nice to use. And then finally I just got distracted by some birds on the roof. Then next up we have the ambience, which is basically a reverb, and we can also select between some different reverb sounds. That is very nice as well. And then below the finisher knob we have a crossfader to blend between the low and high drums and select our perfect balance for the song. Then finally, if you made your own preset, you can save it by clicking the Save As button and give it a name, a category, and save the preset as well. So that is it for this plugin, and you can see everything is pretty straightforward. It doesn't take a lot of time to get used to all the knobs, and it does definitely not take a lot of time to make a very cool sound with this. For example, we are going to take a listen to this little composition that I made using the drums. I first made the drums and then I also added some strings, a little bit of an orchestra to make it more interesting. And I made this in about 10 minutes or so. So you can see how easy it actually is to make something that sounds quite decent. So that is something I just made to showcase you what you can do. And if we just quickly go back, I want to show you how I used this mod wheel and pitch wheel thing to add more expression to the sound. Let's take a look. And you can see how I used this very expressively to create a more interesting sound and to add some more dynamics. And that is everything you need to know to make your own cool sounding drums with this plugin. I am genuinely impressed with how this sounds and how easy it makes this to create cool sounding orchestral drums. So if you want to check out this plugin, I will have a link in the description to go to the website of Ujam and buy this plugin. So then I want to thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos by me, consider subscribing. I make videos about plugins, free plugins, and I also upload music production tips and tricks. So if you don't want to miss out on that, feel free to subscribe. If you want to support the video, leave a like or share it with some friends. Thank you for watching. My name is Matt Flank. Peace out.